Hello, welcome to another episode of Optics Theory Debates. Today, Theodore and myself,
hello,
Andraž, we will talk about a Vortex series of riflescopes. And to be more specific, this is the Viper PST Gen 2, a very popular series of tactical riflescopes made by Vortex. We're going to start this debate off with some basic features of the series.
Well, if you start, this series was evolved from the PST Gen 1. So they were not called Gen 1 at that time, but when they made the Gen 2, they named them Gen 2. So those scopes were made in Philippines. They were really a blast on the market. They sold like crazy. And they had 4x zoom, and there were many models in the series. So when Vortex started to prepare the second generation of Viper, there was really a lot of anticipation what will happen. It was normal that for 4x zoom they went to 5x zoom. We all knew that they will probably change the scopes a little bit in the appearance and so on. And when they came out, I would say that the biggest shock was the optical quality. Because we know these are scopes in around 1,000 euros range, let's be honest. Here 200 up or 200 down from 1,000 euros. So we all wanted to see what will happen with the optics, and when they came out, the optics was so close to scopes which cost 2,000 and more that we were all shocked, especially 1-6 model. When we compared it with more expensive scopes, we still compare those scopes with, let's say, with competitors which cost 1,500 euros and so, and people are still shocked how good they are. And the same applied for the whole series. So now in the Gen 2 they introduced 4 different models. Even though you can get both of these 2 big models, you can get in 2 different configurations. So they introduced 1-6, 2-10, 3-15 by 44, and 5-25 by 50. And 3-15 by 44 and 5-25 by 50, they are available either as first focal plane, FFP, mil tactical scopes, or MOA, it depends how you choose, or second focal plane scopes. So all in total, we could say that they have 6 models in this series. The common features are 30mm tube, 5x zoom factor except for the 1-6, which has 6x zoom factor. Tactical uncapped turrets,
except for the wide angle model, right?
Yeah, for the wide angle model. And what was, I would say, the big step forward compared to the previous series is the mechanical zero stop on the turrets. So now you have a turret, when you go back to 0, it stops. Click, you hear the stop, it stops. Because the previous generation had like small shims which you put inside of the turret, so that when you went down to 0, the turret pressed on those small layers of metal, but it was always like, you never got really this mechanical stop. Now you're at 0.
The stop that you feel, right?
Yeah, like you feel the click and now it stopped, you know, now you're on 0. This was the biggest, I would say, improvement in terms of mechanical changes. I would also say that the build quality was raised to even higher level, even though the prices stay almost the same. And we tested these scopes with many other competitors in the meantime, with Boris, with Athlon, with many others. And I would say at the moment they are absolute leaders, or the benchmark in this price point. In this price point, when you're looking for a tactical scope at around 1,000 euros, Viper PST offers the best optics. It offers probably the best mechanics, and it is a step in front of all other competitors. Even though some competitors in this price range already come with a 34mm tube, so they do offer a little bit more of elevation than Vortex, but even with 30mm tubes, you have more than enough elevation for shooting really, really far. So this is not such a big problem, but you gain better optics than competitors at this price point.
I see that the 2-10 and 3-15 and 5-25 also have adjustable parallax with a side focus. Even the 2-10 model, which is interesting, right?
Very interesting, yeah. Because most of the optics with a maximum magnification below 12,
yeah.
they lack parallax adjustment.
And this one has it, so it's an additional feature.
Yeah.
And all already have the illumination intensity regulation.
Yeah, all of them have
on
the side. So 10 levels and off levels.
Also an off switch between each level, so that you can quickly get back to the illumination where you left off.
Mm-hmm. So we said that both of two big models come with either with a reticle in the first focal plane or in the second focal plane. All of them come with the reticles with MOA subtensions or mil subtensions. And since Vortex really knows what they're doing with the scopes, they're always paired with the same click values. So when you're buying a mil reticle, you get mil clicks or clicks in milliradians. So you always have a mil scope. If you choose to have a MOA subtensions in the reticle, you get MOA clicks, 1/4 MOA. So then you have MOA scope. So really smart, really clever. It became standard in the recent years that manufacturers of optics understand these relations well. But 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you could still find mil dot reticles with mil subtensions in a scope with MOA clicks. This is something what I think Vortex from the start didn't do. They already understood with their PSTs already the first generation that clicks and the subtension values in the reticle have to be
so
matched.
It is important to understand the market before you make any riflescopes, right?
The turrets are multi-turn. The turn indicator is engraved below under the turret, so here. This is something what normally is not perfect, but still for this price point it's acceptable. And with a mechanical zero stop, it's more than acceptable. Normally the turrets don't have a locking function. This is also something what some competitors have. Maybe this is the only real downside to the Viper series. So at this price point, if they will have a locking turrets, then they will be perfect.
Perhaps Gen 3 will have them.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Even though for Gen 3, I don't really see how they could make a better scope for this price range. Because optically speaking, when we first saw these scopes, I think it was 2016 at SHOT Show, or it was 2017 at SHOT Show.
Somewhere around that time.
Yeah. I think it was 2017 at SHOT Show. With all the people which I talked to, with other dealers and distributors of Vortex and so on, we chatted and they all say, okay, the optics looks like it's Japanese, even though it's made in Philippines. And this was the biggest jump. All in all, the scopes are quite heavy for their class, every model. And this is probably accounted to the high quality materials used.
Yeah, even the razors are quite high at their
yeah, they're also very heavy.
Point, right?
Yeah.
You also get the Vortex VIP warranty.
Really, if anything happens, you know that you're covered with Vortex warranty, and this is I would say a really big plus. So when you combine the optical performance, which is the best in class, with the best warranty, it's really no-brainer to buy a PST Gen 2. And I also think that with this range they cover most of the needs of all the users. Maybe they're missing the 56mm model. Here in Europe they are quite popular. But if you go through it, 1 to 6, it's perfect for IPSC shooting. It's a really high quality scope.
Yeah, and it even has the enhanced part here.
Yeah, so if
which is useful for
if you knock with the scope somewhere, it's sturdier. All in all, I would say it's really easy to use with both eyes open. It's really nice. It's like when you compare it with Razor, which is a perfect scope for this application. It's not really hard to see the difference in optical performance. Then you have 2 to 10 by 42. I would say this scope is perfect for AR platform rifles with 308 caliber. This is something you are able to reach a little bit further with 10 times magnification, but at 2 you still have really wide field of view, and I would say it's still light and compact, but a fully featured scope. 3 to 15 by 44 for the same type of rifles, also for bolt action rifles, for someone who wants to have a little bit more compact scope with a full mil potential. And I would say in daytime bright conditions or with normal lighting conditions, it's more than enough for anyone. If it really becomes a little bit dark, and then 5 to 25 with a 50mm objective lens has a little bit of an edge, but it's much bigger, it's much longer and heavier. This is I would say a full feature mil scope, tactical. I know that in the US some users will use it as an MOA scope, but here in Europe everybody goes for a first focal plane mil scope in this magnification range. I also think that this is probably the scope which I would buy in this segment. If I would have around 1,000 euros for a mil scope, this would be my choice. What did we forget?
I don't think we've basically forget anything. So
yeah, this is for tactical rifles for long range shooting.
Yeah, so
this is something I forgot. Yeah. So here it's light, a little bit more compact. Yeah. This one is for tactical. I would say Vortex doesn't have much room of improvement with these scopes. Maybe a locking function of the turrets in the next generation, but apart from that, I think that in terms of optical performance, which is the key feature of these scopes, I would say the key strong point, at least from what we are seeing now, the competitors will need a couple of additional years to catch up. In this price point now, nobody is really catching up the same optical in terms of optical performance with Vortex.
Okay. That would probably be it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave a comment.
I apologize, we did forget one thing.
We did?
Yeah, with all of these models, the 32mm model, 44mm model, 50mm model, you have illumination of the entire reticle. So
not just the central dot,
yeah,
but the whole reticle.
So the whole reticle, the Christmas tree reticle, or if you decide for a normal reticle without the additional dots.
And the wide angle model, you have the central.
Yeah, even though this is daytime bright, for dynamical situations, when you have the whole reticle illuminated, it's not the best option. With the 1 to 6, you have a purely central dot, which is daytime bright, and it's more than daytime bright. It's really probably the intensity is the highest of all the scopes in this class. So the illumination is different from model to model.
And also the definition of the dot on the wide angle model is really, it's a fine nice dot. Yeah,
it's I think it's optical fiber inside of the reticle, so it's perfect. It's unimaginable they were able to produce a scope of this quality in the segment of wide angle scopes for this price point. I think it's without competition, even more than the others at the moment, other models. Now I think we covered everything.
No, I think we did, but in case we forgot something, always leave, you can leave a comment down in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our other videos that are available on our YouTube channel. And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.